Happy Self-Love Sunday, ladies. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your journeys are going well. I hope that you've changed your clocks because we have officially sprung ahead. And I don't know about you, but that's kind of how I'm feeling lately. Like everything is just springing ahead and moving at warp speed. And I'm like, I don't even know how I can, keep up. I talked to you last week about how my house became flooded. And so I have construction things going on, chaos all kind of around my house. I have my daughter who is a senior in high school getting ready to graduate. So we went prom dress shopping and getting ready for senior parties and, all of that. And then my daughter comes home from college for spring break and she's like, well, we're having a formal and I need to get something for that on top of my son getting ready to start baseball. Meanwhile, the daughter who's the senior, she still is involved in All-Star Cheering where we travel, mainly around the East Coast for the next couple of months. So you compel that with working a full-time job, doing little things here and there for my friends. Like yesterday, my friend Angie talked me into doing a wellness event where I came out of retirement for 20 minutes and toward Zumba, and I'm extremely exhausted still from that, right? So I have that. And then let's talk about the goals that I set for myself for 2020, right? In terms of wellness. So doing a fitness program and, starting to get my nutrition back on track, which is for me, eating clean. I love to keep it simple. I'm not doing keto, weedo, or any of those things. I am clean. I usually go to clean eating, which is eating foods that die quickly. For those of you that are like, what does that mean? So fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, meats, like I don't eat a lot of meat, but chicken or turkey. So that's what that means for me. So I am like feeling so overwhelmed with it all. But when with all of that's happening, I have to sit back and say, I don't want to get to a point where I am complaining about overwhelming blessings. Because truthfully, all of it's a blessing. I'm essentially getting almost a new home. I can afford to go take my daughter to get a prom dress and afford to have a party and afford to get my daughter in college her things. And I am able and of healthy mind and body where I can, go all around with her for All-Star Cheer and do the same for my son. So sometimes, you have to sit back and say, well, where it seems really overwhelming, we don't want to get to a place of complaining because it's a blessing to be able to do all those things. So when I'm feeling that way, a way to honor my feelings, because although I understand that it's overwhelming blessings, I still want to honor my feelings, right? So a way for me to honor my feelings and say, okay, I still feel this way. However, I don't want to take it too far down the rabbit hole. This is the time where I take a step back. And this is what my message is for today. When you find yourself being overwhelmed with blessings, sometimes you just have to take a step back. So what does taking a step back look like? Well, for me, I get my list out. So I have a list of goals and things that I've set for myself. And sometimes you have to go in and reevaluate. Sometimes some things are just too aggressive when other things into your life, so you have to back off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is look at my wellness schedule as far as, my gym time. I'm going to evaluate that. I'm also going to look for spaces where I can delegate because my daughters can both drive. So it may be an instance where, I have them go to the grocery store or go pick up some things for me. So I don't have to worry about having that on my plate. I also like to just put things down on paper and put dates by them, right? So this is when I need to have these things accomplished. So I can just go and cross it off. And I usually leave a list because I needed a couple of places on my refrigerator. I have a mirror in my room and I'm also have a desk where that list will sit. So as I'm doing these things, I'm crossing it off. So that way I'm not overwhelmed with it all in my head. So I have my list that I've created of things that I need to accomplish and the dates I need to accomplish them, right? I'm establishing what I can and cannot delegate, Okay. And then I am doing something that has really, really worked for me, which is making sure I stay on top of my meditation. Let me explain something to you. When you have a world of chaos, because you have people pulling at you from multiple ends, right? Let's go back to the fact of my home. I have a contractor pulling on me on one end. I have an insurance adjuster who's, doing something on another end. I have my kids pulling on me from another end. I have friends that, pulling on me from another end. I have a job, right? So when you have all of these things pulling on you and tugging at you at one time, it's really hard to get centered. So that's why I chose meditation. What it's done for me is allowed me to stay grounded. It brings me back to the moment where I'm not, again, too far into the future worrying about something that the contractor needs to do tomorrow when I need to live today, right? And I'm not thinking about too much that has happened yesterday. And I'm going to be very honest with you and tell you right now, it has become more prevalent than ever that I maintain my meditative state because for whatever reason, I've been grieving a lot more lately for my friend who left in July. It has just been one of those things where I'm leaving the gym and he's just right there, talking to me, or I'm talking to him, I should say. And, I'm feeling the emotions behind all of that. So it's just been a compelling season, you know? But again, overwhelming blessings. Blessings in the fact that, I'm able to, again, we take for granted, we get upset about our bodies and we don't like the way they look, and all these other things. Those are things that we honestly can fix if we choose to. We can choose to eat a healthier diet. And please don't say that, eating healthy costs a lot more. That's really not necessarily true. I've proved it time and time again. So, I can choose to do that. I can choose to work out and build my endurance and increase my cardio and, all those things. I have a choice that I can do that. There are so many people today that don't have a choice, whether it's due to disabilities, cancer, whatever is going on. They don't have the ability to do half of what I can. So I don't want to get too stuck in overwhelming blessings. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying to you do not honor your feelings. We are allowed to feel overwhelmed. We are allowed to feel stress without the guilt of understanding that there are people less fortunate. However, it's just a way to bring you back a little bit. Okay. So I want to be clear. Honor your feelings. I feel overwhelmed. I feel tired. I feel emotional. It's okay to honor that, but we need to bring it back home a little bit, wheel it in, because we're some of us are extremely blessed with the fact that we can handle it all and do it all. I don't want to say handle it, but achieve it all, because we have been blessed in our lives with a healthy mind and body, and some of us the finances to do what we're doing in the world today. So I just wanted to kind of bring it back and say, if you are feeling the spring forward, which is overwhelming, just things coming at you and feeling tugged all over the place, that is the time for you to go sit, center yourself, make some list, check it off, things one at a time, delegate where you can, what you can, and just make sure you find that you time. That time to just sit with yourself, the time to just breathe. And, I don't want to get into a preachy state of meditation, but that's what it does. There's nobody pulling and tugging at me. It's just quiet. It is just like letting everything go and melt to the side. And it has really helped me in terms of managing my emotions, because let's be honest, parents, let's be real honest today. When we are feeling that overwhelming sensation, we tend to take our emotional stuff out on other people. We really do. We're snapping at the person in the grocery store. We're snapping at the person who cuts us off while we're driving. We're going completely insane nuts. And it's all because we have not taken a second to step back, to just breathe, to just let it all go. I mean, finding 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you don't really have to go longer than 20 minutes a day to sit be centered and just breathe. You got to find the time to do that. It really does help with our overwhelming blessings. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Please, please, if you have topics you want to talk about, I know sometimes with my moms, we really want to deep dive into these kids. So I think I'm going to start bringing some of that to the table because I am a funny mom. So we'll start bringing some of that to the table. Any topics you want to discuss, you want to reach out to me about coaching, you want to just reach out to me for any type of feedback, questions, concerns, whatever. I am here for you. Sass Fitness LLC on Facebook and Instagram. I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you, love you, love you for listening.